What's the deal, people? Welcome back to the Ethos Media Network live stream. Don't worry, it's not just gonna be me the whole time. Don't worry. Got some guests coming. We're definitely gonna be hanging out. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Got a few of the homies coming through, so don't even worry about it. But, how are y'all doing though? I hope everybody's good out there. I know people stressed out on their jobs. I know people everybody's going through different things, right? So I just hope everybody out there is, finding different ways to deal with whatever stresses you got. You know what I mean? And if you don't have that many stresses, I hope life continues that way for you. You feel me? That's a beautiful thing. However, for most of us out here, you know, we dealing with some stuff. So you know, got the Angel Reese situation that seems to have been, a very very small thing that kind of triggered a lot of racial tension. It seems like, um, so probably be discussing that with some of the homies. What else? What else we got on the agenda? On these, we just kind of just kick it. So, you know, but definitely want y'all's feedback though. Please, jump in the chat if you're watching. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what shows you like. Check out the old shows if you haven't had a chance to. Bar exam is a weekly thing. Politics as usual is pretty much a weekly thing. OTI is seasonal. We do have the complete season one out for you though. So make sure to go check out those episodes if you haven't. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Let us know your opinion on certain things that we spoke about. If you have any if you want to jump on and be on an episode, if you disagree, with somebody's viewpoint, let us know. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. Just to have these conversations. Sometimes they're difficult conversations, but they're necessary. So, other than that, hope everybody, what y'all think about this Vince McMahon situation. Any wrestling fans out there? Y'all, he done took back over the creative. Triple H was in creative for like the last 8, 9 months. He was doing pretty good. We liked what we saw. You know what I'm saying? We was enjoying the product, everything, and then Monday Night Raw happens after WrestleMania. How do we feel about that? I feel like it's trash, and definitely wish that that wasn't the case. But when you own the company, essentially, you know what I mean, and you play those corporate games and those lawyer games and things like that to position yourself in such ways that you're kind of able to get away with whatever you want, pretty much, which is what happened. Um, you can kind of just take back over when you want to. So this was always a possibility, and it sucks that creeps and nasty, possible criminals actually, if we're just keeping it real, can you know be rewarded essentially, after all that comes out. But we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So we're just chilling here for a little bit till some of the homies can come through. But so we got my man Nessie the Rilla coming through. He's up and coming artist from Detroit. He's all over the country with it. You know what I mean? He's real big in the NFT community as well. So I'll probably ask him some questions about that. Have him speak on that a little bit. Of course, my brother Eric G will be in the building as well. Um, who else we got hanging with us? My homeboy Kev, he's gonna be coming through, hanging with us. Just telling us what life in Texas is like. You know what I'm saying? My man, he's from Detroit also. You know, there's one of my Linwood brothers, but he lives in Houston now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just having probably speak on that a little bit. You know, just the differences because I know a lot of people definitely find Texas appealing. You know what I mean? It feels like a lot of people are starting to move there. And I'm also curious, I guess, from his perspective as not a native, but as somebody who's been there for some time now. Like, I don't think he's been there as long as I've been in Arizona, but he's been there for a little minute now. So I'm just curious, you know, when it's what you know what he thinks about all of it, and if he notices like a big population shift or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically all we're gonna get into today. You know what I'm saying? So y'all definitely make sure if you do stop by to like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? Even if you're catching a replay of the stream, you can go back and watch last week's, or not last week's, the stream that we did 2 weeks ago. That was actually our first stream. You know, you can go check that out. We had the homie JT on there. Shout out to JT. You know, he's got his own podcast situations, and he's got a couple of shows, including one with my brother called For the Cap. I believe that comes out on SoundCloud. So definitely go ahead and you know, check that out. um, but yeah, so you know, I'll just be you know, doing this, you know. So as most of you, you know, or as may, you know, some of you, you know, newer viewers or what have you. I'm the senior director of Ethos Media Network. So pretty much what I do is I do a lot of, you know, behind the scenes work. I'm a on camera personality on certain shows like Politics as Usual, which you can catch on Saturdays. Well, on weekends, I should say, just to be accurate. Sometimes it's Saturday, sometimes it's Sunday. So if I'm being completely honest, but you know, some days is Saturday, some days is Sunday. Um, but it's every weekend though. And I'm the producer as well as the host of that show. I was the producer as well as a co-host on OTI, Open to Interpretation, um, which was our very first show actually on Ethos. And pretty much you know, that was a mix of barbershop talk and you know, social commentary, and just our opinion on different things that we see, different trends, different, you know, whatever. So I was the producer, or I still am. You know, I was the producer of season one, I should say, of that show, and a co-host as well. And then I'm the producer of our current uh, show, The Bar Exam, which is on episode. It'll be episode 16 on this coming Monday. So make sure you check those out. Bar Exam, that's a fun show. You know, that's hosted by my brother. That's hosted by Ali Rayner. Al Rain on Instagram at al.rain. Rain spelled Rehn. And then also the homie Mr. Marcus TV. So not to be confused with the other Mr. Marcus. So yeah, so you know, and they have a real fun show, man, where they, you know, break down different bars. You know, they basically choose topics, whether it's, you know, West Coast rap, East Coast rap. You know, the most recent episode was the best ad libbers in rap. Um, you know, so they basically pick genres or different like categories to kind of speak about, and then they just pick, you know, artists and songs, and they do lyric breakdowns. So they do that. They play a fun game called Swear to Tell the Truth, where they basically admit to songs where they either didn't know the lyrics for a long time or they thought the lyrics maybe meant something, and then turns out they actually meant something completely different and they didn't know it till they was grown, or you know, stuff like that. So, um, so that's a fun show, and so you know, definitely want anybody who you know, runs across this stream or, you know, comes across this at any point, you know, to check out everything on the channel. You know, there's probably going to be something for you. Whether you're into hip hop, you know, that's Bar Exam. Whether you're into politics, obviously that would be Politics as Usual. whether you're into, kind of more social commentary, slash opinion, that would be more open to interpretation. Um, and that covers all sorts of topics from, racial issues to, gender issues to relationship issues to, financial issues, just all different things across the board, you know what I mean? Inner city life versus suburban life, the different struggles that people go through, all that different type of stuff. Um, so yeah, I really think, we're building something here where there really is something for everybody. And yeah, so and then we'll be doing these live streams. Right now we're doing them twice a month, so it's gonna be every other Thursday. So if you catch the one on today, April the 6th, the next one will be 2 weeks from now. So that would be, I'll give you the exact date actually. The next live stream on Ethos Media Network will be on the 20th of the month. So we're gonna have some fun on that day on 420. You already know what's gonna be happening, guys. It's gonna be a very fun stream. I'm gonna see what guests we can get on for that for sure. You know what I mean? We're gonna definitely have a good time. But if you watch a lot of our shows, it's 420 most days of the week. So, but hey, it's a good stress reliever. Bringing it back to what I said at the beginning. It's a great stress reliever. It's a great sleep aid. It's the only side effect right there. That and a little bit of hunger. Those are the only side effects you're gonna deal with. But yeah, man. I guess just to get a little bit more about me, just until some of the homies come on, because I haven't really had like any interviews or what I'm saying, like a chance to really like break down my story or anything like that. But I grew up in Metro Detroit. You know what I mean, in one of the cities in Oakland County, and well, two cities in Oakland County. I grew up in Oak Park first, and then I moved to Farmington. So most of my upbringing was in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it wasn't really until high school that I started like hanging out in the city, and hanging out in the city obviously was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Than being in suburbia. It was a very different thing, but I was definitely comfortable with it. Because I was always around people that I felt like would keep me safe or you know would prepare me for situations if there was going to be a potential situation. You know, like that. So I just feel like I had good older homies around me and stuff like that that kind of kept me out the way if need be. You know what I mean? But obviously, um, I think there is an element of street life or whatever that is sort of romanticized, obviously. And then a lot of times when you grow up and you see people who for sure, hustle for to make their money, and then you see how much love they get, you see how much admiration they get, you see how much respect they get, and then it's like, I want some of that. So, even if you don't necessarily have to do it, a lot of times people get caught up in it anyway. So I'll just speak on, stuff from that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people would be like, if you mostly grew up in the suburbs, why, what I mean, do you say some of the things that you say you've been into or whatever, like allude to certain things that you've been into without really saying too much? And, that's why I would say it was because there was a part of me that felt like I had to connect with not necessarily the streets, but just the inner city in general. Um, that was really important to me, like as a black kid. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a big piece of it. Is I felt like if I didn't do that, then as a black kid, I'm almost like a sellout or something because I grew up in a at one time. Well, the area was still predominantly white, but when people hear that, a lot of times they think that means it's a rich area, and that wasn't necessarily the case. Like there were like so if you know anything about Detroit and the Detroit area, the mile roads obviously go from south to north. So the lower mile roads, the further south you are, the higher the mile road, the further north you are. So the further north you got, like once you got past like 11 mile and you were on like 12 mile, 13 mile, 14 mile, that's the area that was rich. You see what I'm saying? 10 mile, 9 mile, that area was working class, middle class, probably in that area, right? And then once you got past like 9 mile, there was legit poor people. And this is all in the same city of Farmington. So I think a lot of times people just get it twisted and they just assume if you grew up in a suburb or you grew up around a lot of white people, then you probably grew up pretty well off. And I'm not gonna act like we were struggling, but it wasn't like I'll put it like this: my parents had enough to maintain the house and the necessities and take us on a vacation every year. But when it came to you know getting new video games, getting new video game systems, getting Jordans, getting stuff like that wasn't happening. Like they would get us nice stuff, but we weren't getting that. You see what I'm saying? Like that didn't come until high school when I was out there getting it myself, and that was another reason why what I mean. I was making certain decisions is because I felt like I had to keep up with everybody that I was going to school with, essentially. But their parents were the ones actually, you know, buying them Jordans and buying them the new PlayStation when it came out with 3 video games and you know what I'm saying? Like for us it was like if something new came out or something we really wanted that was expensive, you're waiting till Christmas. It didn't matter at what point of the year it was. If it was April, you wait until Christmas. You know what I'm saying? If it was That's how it worked cuz like our parents didn't have like all that extra money cuz we weren't rich, you know what I'm saying? My parents worked hard and was able to get us out of the ghetto. Like that's what it was. Like we were out of the ghetto. You know what I mean? We were not like so. And on top of that, because also there were more black kids coming to where I went to school, there was a lot of them that were like that grew up in the city or whatever that were moving out there or whatever. So a lot of the times when we was hanging out, we was going to the city because they knew where shit was popping at or where we was gonna have fun at or whatever the case may be. So that's who I would be with. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we would be in the city. And then working at the movie theater that I worked at, there's nothing but hood niggas that worked up there. And we was all cool. So I started hanging with them. And then, what I mean? Different things lead to different things when you're outside. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. Like, you know, I wouldn't say I've ever been in anything too super major. You know what I mean? Like, but I've definitely been in some situations where, if I had if anything didn't go the way exactly it went, then, it could have been really bad. Like, there are situations like that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to pretend like that was a everyday occurrence. That was mostly a weekend thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I didn't have, responsibilities around where I actually did live at to be there. So, but um yeah, anyway. So, with all that being said, I was into music real heavy forever. I started playing the drums when I was in 4th grade and didn't stop until I pretty much until a little bit into college. So I, played all through middle school, jazz band, regular band, same in high school, different orchestras, you know what I'm saying, marching band. I was on the drum line, you know what I mean? We had a winter drum line that I was actually on the very first iteration of that line. Like we were on the the founding drum line of a drum line that still exists to this day. Actually, I think they've. I actually don't know if they exist anymore, so I'm not sure. But we yeah, Farmington United. Shout out to Farmington United. if they still exist as a winter drum line. Shout out to y'all. If not, shout out to everybody who was a part of it at one point or another. Yeah. So that's also another reason why I didn't wasn't able to really fully do a deep dive off the porch, I guess you could say, and like really ever get too stupid because I always had some music shit related to do. Like I always had to be at a practice for something. Because my grades wasn't really sweet, you know what I mean? So I was definitely trying to get like a scholarship or something like that, playing the drums, so that I could go to college. Because back in those days, basically like early 2000s, a lot of parents were still on that. When you turn 18, it's either military or college, and this was pretty fresh after 9/11 happened. So the military wasn't really something I was trying to be a part of. I wasn't really trying to go fight in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really like that wasn't my shit. Like if it had been during a peacetime, that's a different thing. Like I know you still have to go through a lot when you join the military, as far as your trainings and the travel and all that stuff. It's still super tough, but I feel like that's something that I could deal with. Whereas wars, like that's just I'm in principle I'm against war anyway. So you know I don't know if joining a war organization would really help that cause, but um yeah. So after college, I there was a incident, got in a little bit of trouble over something that's legal now. So so um ended up getting in a situation, and then got uh got caught up with some of the homies, and long story short, got put on probation, got kicked out of school and shit. And so then I was living in the hood for a little while. So I lived on 7 Mile in Wyoming for a little while, and then after I moved from over there, I was living over there with a girl I was dating at the time, right? So then, for whatever reason, she had to move out of that house. So then I ended up finding a house with my homeboy Dion. Shout out my man Neely. Um, and we moved over to Linwood and shit. So then we was over there for a while. Then me and old girl broke up. I was just kicking it on Linwood, basically. Like, this ain't it. Shit was all bad. Moved to AZ. Did all my rebuilding out here, and this is where I'm at now, pretty much. So that's just a little brief, just a little brief synopsis, pretty much, of my life and my upbringing. You feel me? So finally, I got a co-host to talk to, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just letting you go for a minute.
Trying to hold it down for like 30 minutes is that was a little difficult. But what up, though?
What's good? What's good?
Shit, man, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Just giving whoever ends up watching this or listening to this just a little piece. You know what I'm saying? On the insight of what's going on with me. You feel me? So what's going on with you though?
Another day in paradise, man. Just living. Work is going good. Uh, this week's been going good. This week's been a little annoying because of just everything that we've been dealing with as far as just post WrestleMania, and yeah, it's just very disheartening.
So what was your first thoughts when you saw that shit?
I mean, what do you mean? How far back are we going? Do you mean like when I first saw Raw, or just like all the Vince news in general?
All the Vince news in general.
That it was inevitable.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
he
thought
was
too.
that no matter what, he was always gonna find a way to snake his way back in. And the thing we should have been paying more attention to way back when this whole shit first happened, like 9, 10 months ago, however long it was now, was that he still had a major stake in the stock in WWE
Yeah,
and was like a major stock shareholder. But we kind of just pushed that to the side because we were just happy that he just wasn't around anymore.
and that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. That niggas got excited. That shit for like 8 months, bro. Like niggas was like, yes, WWE is good again.
We was literally watching Raw and SmackDown faithfully again, like we was
Yeah,
kids
I
and
was like,
shit.
nigga, don't call me on Monday night. I'm low key pissed off if you try to hang out with me on Monday night, even if you coming over, like because I'm trying to focus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
nah, I don't give a fuck. You can come through. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, we ain't doing
I
nothing. We ain't doing
don't.
nothing on a Monday.
Yeah, keep
Friday
that
is
shit
open
going.
now.
Not if it's gonna be like how it was this past Monday. Fuck out of here with that.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that I told you this before when we were watching it. I remember sitting down watching the Raw, and as it was happening, I just it wasn't hitting me that this was a bad Raw, right? It felt like a weird Raw though. That's what
It
I will
definitely
say. When
felt
I was
weird,
watching it,
but
it
I
just
was
felt weird.
it definitely felt weird. I think I just kept holding out for something cool to happen, and then also we was riding off at a high because you got to think WrestleMania night one, the whole night was fire. WrestleMania night two still had some good matches, even though all the wrong people won. But the matches themselves were still good, like as far as
Yeah.
everything that was happening in between the ropes or in between the cage in Edge and Finn Balor's case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think all the wrong people won, minus maybe Gunther. Like that makes sense. But outside of that, like all the wrong people won, but it was still good wrestling.
Yeah.
Whereas as soon as you get to Monday, so we were riding off that high, is what I'm saying. Like the whole weekend was fire. NXT was dope. The Ring of Honor shit on Friday was dope. Like we had it just starting on Friday. We had the Hall of Fame was sweet. Like you know what I mean. Starting Friday evening, we had just the whole weekend was nothing but dope wrestling, and
Yeah.
then Monday came, and it was like so it was like we was riding on that, like hoping something good was gonna happen at some point. Like, and the only good thing really was the beatdown at the end, and it still came out of nowhere because it was like, why the fuck did he do that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like, what's the motivation for that? Like, why are you helping out Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman all of a sudden? You hate them. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and
But
then you just start seeing little bits and pieces of notes like float online, and then you start wondering if it's true. But then the next day, everybody who is credible wrestling media sources reporting the same thing. Vince is McMahon backstage. Vince McMahon taking over creative halfway through the show. Vince McMahon rewriting half the show, and it's like, oh boy, are we going back to this?
dog, I was so mad when I saw that shit.
But then to contrast that, that made it so much better when AEW was like really good this week.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to that comment that I saw on YouTube that I sent to you was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
It was like FTR and Jay White just joined the Dodge the Bullet Club. I was like, that's hard, and it's true.
Very true.
Because Jay White is a former IWGP World Champion, so AEW is going to take him serious, and he's part of Bullet Club, so by extension, he's cool with all the EVPs. So
Yeah.
he's gonna get booked well. You know what I mean? Like they're starting him off right now in a feud with Ricky Starks. Like he's helping out Juice Robinson because of the whole Bullet Club thing. So it's like there's a lot of shit that they can do, and that just fits the style of wrestling more. Like I thought it would have been cool to see what he would do in WWE under Triple H, but
Same.
since that's probably not going to be the case, he definitely made the right choice. Because I heard that interest like wasn't even there for him anymore. Like pretty much once the Endeavor thing happened, and I was like, that was another thing that made me go, oh, Vince is probably because I'm like, why would all these talks between WWE and Jay White be happening until all of a sudden Vince McMahon's back in the picture,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they're saying there's no interest. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So there's something more to that. You know what I'm saying?
for sure. Yeah, there's something more to a lot of things that are going on right now with that whole situation with the Bailey tweet and just a whole lot of different scenarios. But yeah, I will say that I was really glad to see FTR retain last night, or not retain, but win the belts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was dope. Cause I wasn't sure for a minute. Cause I was like, dog, like, where are they gonna go if they leave AEW? Because I know they're not gonna go back to WWE if Vince is in charge.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are they gonna do? Go to Japan? I was like, probably not, because they're family men, and I don't think they're gonna up and move their families to Japan. Like, you know what I'm
Nah,
saying? So
definitely
I was
not.
like, where would they go? I guess Ring of Honor. They would just technically still be in AEW. Like, and be like, well, Ring of Honor though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what were they gonna do? You know what I mean? That's what I was like. They
Yeah.
kind of had to win.
Yeah, that's a good
Once the
point.
Vince news came out, I almost kind of was like, oh, okay, they're gonna win for
I
sure. Like,
wonder how quickly they flipped the script.
yeah, like did they
Like
initially have the Guns winning, and then when the Vince news came out, they were like, all right, Tony, you know what? We're
we're
actually
gonna
gonna
stay.
stay. So we kind of need to win. We'll lose the belts again next week if we got to. Fuck
Right,
all
like, you
that.
know what, we were wrong. Let's just ride this out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
So, what you think about the Angel Reese situation?
Say that one more time.
So, what you think about the Angel Reese situation?
What happened with Angel Reese?
So, the basketball player who did the.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, for anybody who doesn't know the story, pretty much, um, there was a basketball player on not LSU. I forgot the school, but
Whoever they were facing in the
yeah,
championship.
where like in the lead up to the finals of the tournament, this girl named Caitlin uh, kept doing. She was taunting, her opponents doing the. She called it the John Cena. That's where she got it from. But real niggas know it's the Tony Yayo. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, so pretty much she was taunting all of her opponents like that. I guess Angel Reese put out a tweet and was like, "Yeah, I don't," or I saw that she was doing that. I don't like that shit, right? So then when she won, um, LSU won their first championship, their first national championship ever, right? And so when she ended up winning, what they did was she returned the taunt back, basically. But when she did it, everybody jumped out the window. All these
Right.
reporters and sports people basically were all like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit." One person called her a classless piece of shit. I've seen multiple people call her like ghetto and have no class and all that type of shit. So, what are your thoughts? And real quick, before I get your thoughts, we have Nessie Gorilla in the building. What's the deal, sir?
Yo, my G's, what's the word? What's the word?
Man, chilling, bro. Chilling, man. Just living the dream over here. Just kicking the
I
shit.
feel it. I feel it.
Um, right now we're talking about the Angel Reese situation, and then after we get through with that, I'm gonna have you get into your bag because you have interesting things to discuss. So,
For
um,
sure.
That's
yeah, Aaron, what's your thoughts, bro?
more of America being the exact same. Like, I'm not surprised by none of this. I'm not surprised by none of this shit no more at all.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that, like, I'm surprised that her initial comment even blew up like that.
Oh, the
Like, her
tweet.
initial comment towards the other girls talking about I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that that even got that much attention. So for the follow up to happen like this, and for people to call her classless, like, what are we talking about? People people will put these labels on other people that they don't like just to fit their own bias, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely what that is. I mean, the only difference between them is one's black and one's white. That's literally the only difference between the action itself.
If
It's
they
like
were
if you
both white,
disagree
we
with the
wouldn't be talking
action,
about
you
this.
if you disagree with the action, you have to be against it no matter who does it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what having a principle is. It's like I don't like this thing because the thing in itself is wrong. It doesn't matter who does it. So for everybody to jump out the window on her, like, was crazy to me. Nessie, have you heard much about this? I know you've been in LA doing your shit, so I don't know if you've been
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I've been seeing that
really up on
everywhere, bro.
this.
Honestly, I mean, it is what it is. I'm super behind my fault, but I mean, basically, it's just everything y'all saying. You know what I'm saying? We already knew this. We've been living this our whole lives. You know, so it's nothing new to us. It's just the fact that once again, it's another prime example of why this system is broken and why we feel the way that we feel, and that's why we go so hard. So, you know.
Hell yeah, I feel it. I feel it, man. Well, shit, bro. Talk about yourself, man. So you're an up and coming artist. You know what I mean? You're definitely killing it on the rap scene. You're killing it with the NFT game. What's going on?
Appreciate
What are
it.
you doing?
Yeah, man. So basically, I'm from Detroit. I've been making music since I was. Oh man. Oh, sorry, y'all. Hold on. But I've been making music since I was like 8, and it's literally my passion. Like it's all I do. I feel like it was a gift that God gave me, so I'm using it. Uh, but yeah, basically, I've been doing this since I was 8, and then I started taking it seriously around like 16, 17. And I mean, I've been in the game for a couple years. Like, I opened up for 6ix9ine and Chief Keef and Doja Cat and Jeezy and all that, But like, I'm just, I'm a different breed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not what everybody's used to seeing. And sometimes the industry wants you to look a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way. Just like what Angel was talking about. You know what I'm saying? They want us to basically be puppets out here, and that's not what I'm about. So, luckily, by the grace of God, I found Web3 because I was down in Houston, raising up my twins, and it was just basically like lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to talk to people. So I hopped in Web3 and Spaces on Twitter, and literally changed my life. I was just able to start talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Feel better mentally. I was able to start playing my music. I was able to be heard from all around the world. Like people was throwing me concerts in Africa and France and all this stuff. And I'm literally sitting at home, you know what I'm saying, raising my twins. So it was wild, man. And every day is still getting wild. Like I just got back from LA. I performed out there. Next week I'm going to NFT NYC. I'm gonna be headlining with Styles P. So it's just a lot of blessings in this space. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that want to work together. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Instagram is kind of more based off of like what you got to rock. You know what I'm saying? Not about who you are. And the people on Twitter actually give a fuck about who you are and they're trying to learn about you. You know what I'm saying? They will support you if you go hard. So I mean, it's just been a blessing, bro. Honestly, like I never thought I'd be in this position, but I'm grateful that life led me here because it's just that the ability to not only connect with fans and people listening all over, but also the fact of people that listen to my music can also own it and they can hold value in it, but then they can also sell it later and they can make a profit off of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's deeper than that, but basically, you know what I'm saying, it's a way for basically as an artist to just be heard and be seen and actually have that real chance that the labels tried to tell us is not possible. So
In what order did that happen in? Were you looking for people to talk to and you joined spaces and then you learned about NFTs? Or were you already kind of studying NFTs and that led you to the spaces, which also just so happened to be a good way to connect with people and get to talk to them?
yeah, so I didn't even really know about NFTs at first. Like I learned about them. My friend kept talking about them in like December of 2021, and then finally he convinced me in March or February of 2022 to tap in. So at first I was just sitting down in the listeners, listening in spaces or whatever, and just chilling, you know what I'm saying, laughing, whatever. And then, like I say, 2, 3 weeks later, I was just like, you know what? Let me just try to go on stage and just talk, be heard. So, um, started going on spaces, talking, just kicking it at first. And then people just started asking me like, "Yo, what do you do?" And I was like, "I make music." So they was like, "Play some," and then I played it, and then they'd be like, "Yo, play it again," or play something else. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept doing it, and it just picked up. People started learning about my name, and yeah, the rest is history.
And so you went from that to a very to a more recent accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Which it says it right there under your name. And if you want to speak on that and who else was involved with that, and who if you whoever you want to shout out from your community, you know what I'm saying?
For sure, for sure.
Because I know
Yeah,
you get
man.
a lot of
So,
love in there. I just want to point that out because I
man,
listened
that's
in there a couple of
honestly,
times, and you get a lot of
man.
love in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
Like,
do.
and it's genuine. I can tell. Like these people fuck
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, bro. It's all love in there. It's not all love, but like, it's definitely real love. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's definitely one thing I appreciate, especially dealing with the industry that I'm in. But yeah, so basically, like I said, I started in like February of 2022, and I ain't had no money because I just had twins back in November. So I'm like, all right, I love this space. I love what these communities are doing. They bringing people together. It's a great time, but how can I contribute? So then I was like, all right, well, I got my music. So then I just started making theme songs on some Jamie Foxx shit, honestly. So I started making those one song, then I made two, then we hit five, and before I knew it, people were hitting me up like, "Yo, can I get a song? Can I get a song?" I was like, "Oh, okay, bet we found it." So I started connecting with these communities, tapping in with them. You know what I'm saying? Just learning about what they had to offer, the people that were in them, and it was really dope. You know what I'm saying? Being able to create those anthems for these communities, because at the end of the day, it's been I started my first one in May of 2022, so it's been almost a year, and I made over 90 anthems, 90 theme songs for NFT community. So it's been wild, bro. But the fact that like you're able to do that in the space, you know what I'm saying, and be seen, it's crazy. So that being said, my name started to get around the space, and there's another artist in the space that I consider a pillar, a leader, a trailblazer. He was definitely there before me, and his name is Sammy Arriaga. And basically, he gave me the green light to. Well, let me back up. First off, Sammy's been in the space a little bit like over a year and a half, and he's just been like super just fire. You know what I'm saying? Like the ultimate artist. When he has the music, he has the talent, he has the drive, he has the marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like he has everything. So he had a hit song called Meta Girl that he dropped about a year ago in March of 2021. And it was like his biggest hit. Everybody loves him for it, you know what I'm saying? And it was just dope. So I connected with him in Florida, uh, August 2022. And basically I was like, yo, we should work, you know what I'm saying? Let's do something. And long story short, he ended up sending me the instrumental to Meta Girl. I'm like, yo, like, it's your most popular song. You already did this. What we doing? And he was like, "Yeah, man, I want to do a remix with you though." I'm like, "Yo, like what? Like out of anybody he could have picked, you know what I'm saying? In the space, out the space, because a lot of artists, a lot of big TikTok people, and he decided to go with me. It was just a blessing and an honor. So we had a mint, which basically means we had a 5 day sale. Um, it was an open edition that lasted for 5 days, so that meant that people can buy the music NFT for 5 days, and then after that, they would have to buy it off of the secondary marketplace of Sound.xyz. So we ended up minting 6,077 editions of the song within 5 days, and we ended up placing number 8 in the top 10 music Billboard chart. So that was the first time I'd ever been on a Billboard chart, and the fact that I could be like number 8 with Sammy, like it was powerful. You know what I'm saying? It was amazing. So that's something that's always gonna stay with me forever. And man, it's just a huge motivator that like you're never done until you say you're done. You know, because a lot of people from all over, back home in Detroit, in California, like people counting me out. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't see no motion. Well, just because they don't see any motion doesn't mean that there's any progress. So, man, it's a blessing, honestly.
When did
Big
you kind
facts.
of did you ever have like a moment where you kind of felt like, all right, yeah, I'm figuring this shit out. Like, okay, this is gonna work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing is pretty new as far as how to make money and generate money off of music. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty new way of doing it, and you're
Hmm.
doing well at it. You know what I mean? So, what I guess yeah. What when did you kind of know like okay, like I can do this and just and make it work this way. You know what I'm saying? Versus the traditional, stream route
Yeah.
or, try to get YouTube up or, things like that.
I mean, I've been doing that for years, and it didn't work. You know, like I feel like when I opened up for like the big people, I got like views and stuff and listens, but after that, like it didn't seem nobody was really rocking with me. So it didn't, like I didn't really have anything to lose. I felt like, especially trying something new. So I decided to give it a shot, and I ain't been back on Instagram. I barely go on Instagram now, like, cause there's no reason to, bro. Like my fan base, my people that are actually supporting me, like the long way, like not just talking about it, like showing it, they're in Twitter. So it's like, why would I waste my time on another platform that's not even giving me no play? I've been on Instagram like 12 years. I only got like 4,000 followers. Meanwhile, I've been on Twitter barely over a year, and I got 12.7, and that's all solely off of music, bro. Just connecting with people, talking to people, like actually learning about people. You know what I'm saying? Not just looking at pictures all day and leaving comments. Like actually connecting with people all over the world and being able to change people's lives, man. It's powerful. It's the future.
That's dope, bro. Eric, what you want to talk about, man?
Shit, man. I just wanted to commend my boy on everything he got going on. Cause I mean, shit, like I've been seeing him from literally from everything he's talking about. Cause I was in the trenches, like helping him on the blog sites with some of that shit, like back in the day. So I remember those days. Like I was there. So I definitely know exactly everything that he's talking about. So I just want to salute my dog.
I appreciate you, bro. I mean, it's just when you want something so bad, like, man, I can't live without this shit, bro. I can't live without music. You know what I'm saying? And I know that God gave me this gift for a reason. So it's like, bro, I gotta figure out what I'm supposed to do with it, for real, for real. And now I feel like I found the answer. So it's a blessing, man. Just trying to make everybody proud.
I feel it, man.
Oh
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
somebody
What's the
like.
name of the space on Twitter? How do people
I
find it?
mean, you
You
just
know what I
it's
mean?
an app. Yeah, it's an app. If you just go on Twitter and if you click on my Twitter profile, like you'll go to Nessie Gorilla and just type it in. If there's a purple circle around my name, then that means I'm in a space. And then also, if you want to just hop in your own spaces, you could just go on Twitter on the app, click in the middle. There's a little microphone, and it'll show you all the spaces that's going on. And if you want to type in certain subjects, you could do that. Like, what I'm saying? It's really dope. I feel like it's like Clubhouse, but just a step up in a sense, because people there like just want learning and working together, bro. Because from what I see on Clubhouse, it ain't necessarily always the same. So,
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, I know it's similar to Clubhouse. Do you use Clubhouse too, or is it all Twitter?
nah,
Or
bro. I noticed
have you ever tried
Clubhouse is just,
Clubhouse?
yeah, I tried Clubhouse. It just sound like a whole bunch of people that want to hear each other talk or hear themselves talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's learning nothing there. Nobody's actually growing from what I've seen and experienced. But meanwhile, being in Twitter, like, yeah, we have some of that too, but I feel like it's way more education, way more growth, way more positivity, way more building each other up instead of tearing down. You know what I'm saying? So
I get that. I get that.
yeah,
Um, Shit, you're a wrestling fan too, man. What's your thoughts on everything that's happened this week, man? You know what I'm
Oh
saying? We
my
hit the
God!
highlights of it a
Listen,
little bit, but
listen.
what are you? What,
Oh my
you
God.
scared too?
Well,
Like,
all
I'm
right.
gonna be real. I'm
So
scared.
I
Like, what's
love
up?
y'all. I love y'all. We could talk about wrestling as long as we ain't talking about WWE or WrestleMania. Then we good. You know what I'm saying? I love AEW. They be holding it down. You know what I'm saying? But yo, Triple H, I don't know what the fuck is going through your head right now, brother. But yo, you got the universe pissed the fuck off. Like, bruh, like I don't want to get into it, man.
That's hilarious.
I feel it, man. Like, that's why I said I'm just happy that AEW exists. You know what I'm saying? Tony Khan believes in good wrestling. Cause it's like, all right, like
Oh my
I still
God.
have some wrestling I can watch and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to hate watch my
Facts.
wrestling, uh, because Vince McMahon took back over. Like, and here go my thing, right? I'm pretty sure that he said he's not leaving his family no money, right? Like, he's one of those billionaires, you know what I'm saying? Where he's like, no, I'm not
Right,
leaving my
right.
kids nothing. So I'm like,
Oh
fam,
my God.
you're 77 years old. Why are you still trying to make billions of dollars old if your plan is not to leave it for your family? Like, what's the point? You're not gonna be around that much longer, bro. Like, let's be real. 77, you got 20 years max. You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically, like, so what are you gonna do
Mhm.
with billions of dollars?
Lest we forget, this is a guy that wrestled at WrestleMania last year just to satisfy his own ego.
Yeah. Like, why did he beat Pat McAfee? Why?
Yeah, and he won his match.
And we gotta ignore it like it didn't happen now. Like, Michael Cole was like, yeah, Pat McAfee's undefeated at WrestleMania. Like, no, nigga. Vince McMahon beat him after his match for no reason at all. Like, Pat McAfee's my age and he used to be in the NFL. Trying to tell me Vince McMahon can beat him up? Come on, fam. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is he like this? This is what I want to know. So, you know, I'm very upset because we had a good 8 months of solid booking. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better. And, you know, we know what we're going back to.
Brock winning the title, baby.
Brock and Roman.
Brock and Roman part 30,000.
Yeah, Brock and Roman, baby. That's it. And then lots of Omos squash matches.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Big
saying?
Omas.
That's it. That's it. That's what we're getting on Raw from now on. And a lot of promos. Like hella promos.
Oh, and
Great.
the only women that are gonna be booked good are Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Everyone else is gonna be it's gonna be like Kick Rocks. Everybody else.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Until Charlotte decides to
Yeah,
come
until
back.
Charlotte comes
And
back.
then they give her another title.
Yeah.
She's gonna come back and beat whoever the fuck she wants to when she decides to come back.
Becky Lynch is safe too. That's about it though.
Yeah, Becky's safe. That's about it though. You know what I'm saying? That's what you expect. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? If you want to know what's gonna happen, if Vince McMahon takes over, that's it right there. Roman and
You think he
Brock
gonna
are gonna
cut
be
Becky for real
dominating the
or
shit.
not Becky? You think he gonna cut what's her face? Bailey?
Lots of cuts. There's gonna be some releases, unfortunately. Niggas are getting cut.
Bray
Everybody that
Wyatt,
he
oh, he's
released,
done.
everybody
He's
that he
done.
released that Triple H brought back is gonna get in. He's just out of spite, because Vince McMahon is like that. He'll spite his own family just to do it. Like, no real reason. You know, Braun and Ricochet over as a tag team. Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling. We're gonna break them up. Then we're getting rid of Braun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can see that
Yep,
happening.
Braun's gonna turn heel on Ricochet, and then Braun's gonna get fired.
Yeah, like, come on, fam. Like this is ridiculous. Like this is what we have to look forward to. I just anybody who's out there, this is what it is. Just what I mean, understand that. Just watch AEW. It's better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Man,
that's what it is. But shit. All right, y'all. What I mean, we done kicked it for about an hour. I appreciate anybody who did check in for a little bit. If you're watching the replay, you know what I'm saying. Definitely appreciate you for sticking around all the way to the end. Nessie, let them know where to find you and where to find your music and you know what I mean, all that.
for sure. Well, I mean, I got profiles on all social media, but y'all want to find me, you might as well come on Twitter because that's where I'll be at. You can follow me at Nessie Larilla, NESSYTHERILLA. Tap in with my music on streaming platforms and on the Ethereum blockchain if you are Web3 savvy. If not, you know what I'm saying? Yo, tap into Twitter, follow me, and I'll get you hip. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new world out there. You know what I'm saying? Time is still moving forward. Technology is still moving forward. And I'm telling y'all don't want to be behind this when it hit mainstream. So, yo, tap in. And I appreciate y'all for having me too as well. For sure, for sure.
Always love, Eric. Let them know about Bar Exam. What day does it come out? All that good shit. And then let them know where to find you at.
Yes, the Bar Exam Pod on Instagram. We drop every Monday, pretty much in the morning. So if you're looking at around like 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. West Coast time, that's about the time that we drop. So look out every single Monday. We're going to have new episodes, new topics, all that good stuff. Follow me at the ARG Life on all platforms. Go tap in with Ill Roots. That is the platform that I write for. Go tap in with AZ Way Too Active. That is the other platform I write for. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? And just to close it out, once again, I am Shane G. I am the Senior Director of Ethos Media Network. You can find me on Instagram mostly at Shane underscore EMN. That's for Ethos Media Network. You can also follow at Ethos Media Network on Instagram for all the, good shorts of the content and all of that. Giving you the previews of the episodes, all that good stuff. Um, and then you can follow me on Twitter. I'm on there a little bit for mostly entertainment at this point. So you know what I mean. Don't really follow me there for the politics because I'm not arguing with y'all on Twitter. So if you want to talk wrestling
Facts.
though, I'm there with you. You know what I mean. So you can follow me on Twitter, and that is going to be Shane underscore. That one is Shane underscore EMN. My Instagram is Shane underscore Ethos. That's key difference there. So remember that. IG, Shane underscore Ethos. Twitter, Shane underscore EMN. On that note, y'all have a wonderful week. We will catch y'all on the next live show, and we'll catch you Monday on Bar Exam. Peace.